Hi there. Welcome to another edition of the Illuminating Weekly. The week we're looking at is July 22nd through the 28th. I'm using the Illuminating Journey Cards. I created these with the help of the Akashic Records, and I'm using them for the reading. I'm Jen Duchene of jenduchene.com. So, let's see what's showing. What do we need to know for this week? And I am just going to do this so you can see better. So the first card that comes up is the 5 Soul Portal. What I find interesting about what's showing up is the sense of, almost a sense of mystery here that is calling us. This guide, it feels like it's the guide at the path. Gatekeeper in a sense, going, I'm here, I'm waiting. This circle of rose petals feels very sacred as well as very joyful. There's a joyful energy here. The pomegranate seeds, this idea of seeding something new, being invited to take a journey into the maze, into the unknown. The background feels very mystical. Perhaps the journey is to this sacred land here. For some reason, this pomegranate seed here feels like it's a pouch, something to carry with you, the kind of seeds to drop your intentions. So definitely feels like we are being called to a journey this week, a journey of mystical proportions, that we are willing to go to places we may not have been, and these places are calling us. They're calling our soul, they're calling our energy, they're calling us to respond and to go forward. And it's as if the energy is awakening within us the desire to travel and to explore. What I find interesting too is this crow here, from where I am sitting, looks like it's the shadow of this this guardian of the maze. So here's the guardian, has a kind of torch, all of the magical instruments needed to truly connect to yourself through the journey. So I do feel like we're being called or being pulled into the mystery of life and going beyond what we have known, being asked to go deeper and not question why we're going, but to just be on the journey with joy and amazement and delight, willingness to participate in a new way. Definitely feel like we're being called to operate differently, to open ourselves up to the things we have avoided that have pulled us, the things that we may have put in the way, obstacles we may have put in the way, so that we wouldn't take this journey. And so here it is, we're being called into the journey. So let's see what the next card is. Okay, so the next card is a number. So this deck contains levels, which are numbers, contains soul portals like the one we just saw, and this is level 3. So the things that we look at here are not only what does 3 stand for, but what the shape says to us, and of course, what is the level? What does it mean to be at this level? This year we're in is a 3-year. It's a 12. 1 + 2 is 3. So we know this is linking us to the year. This week has importance when it comes to how we deal with this year we're traveling through. This year that is asking us to release our relationship to being victims in some way, and kind of feeling helpless and going, or hopeless and going, well, if we want hope, if we want something different, we're going to have to do something different. So this 3, and it's interesting because the shape reminds me of the top of a key. It also looks like a double portal or breezeway you can look through, or, ears, Mickey Mouse ears. There's a sense of playfulness to it. There's also a sense of opening up something new, a curiosity, which is definitely key to the 3. There's also a flowing energy, as it is kind of like a wave, taking the wave, being willing to explore and experience life in a new way. It's about loving the creative aspect, loving ourselves, expressing ourselves in new ways so that we can break away from old habits and old ways of being and old things we've told ourselves, like, oh, I'm not supposed to do this. This is giving us that key and the permission to step beyond old habits, step out of overthinking and get more playful and curious and joyful. So even though difficult things are happening, we're being called to restructure and reframe them in our minds. So it is still an adventure. Remembering our first card is calling us to take this adventure and to take the mystical journey, even knowing that tough things happen as we travel into these spaces. There's all these pockets we can't see into, but we know that we're being guided, that there's great beauty here and great promise. And so the way we activate the promise is by, getting curious, engaging in joy, figuring out how we can be joyful even as hard things are happening, as there's this inhumanity and tension and fear. We can find ways to turn the key so we're not caught up in all of that manipulation, and we're choosing what is right for us. The next card is also a level, and interesting, we go from 3 to 4. So from the creative aspect, we're now taking these ideas that inspire us and making them real. We're creating a new system, a new foundation. 4 also is the 4 pillars. So this is something new we're building, something we're putting a lot of energy into it. So this is the time where we're actually beginning to lay the groundwork for what we want more of. We've certainly experienced a lot of things that have scared us. We've gone from a place of being comfortable to a place of discomfort and reckoning that is asking us to really discipline ourselves in what we're paying attention to, how we're reacting, or what we are creating. What's interesting here, of course, is the 3 is the yellow, which is about the solar plexus, calling us to our will. What will be done, right? What will we use our will for? And then we have the 4, which is the green, the heart energy. It's using love, to build with love, to create from a place of love, and knowing that we have the key, knowing that we're taking this journey willingly and lovingly and joyfully, that we're being guided if we look for these amazing sacred clues that are out there for us. So knowing we are creating joyfully, we're looking at things in a new way, we're laying the foundations for these new things. 4 is also about the earth. And as we kind of move it around, we can see it's almost like that, it's a tool. Those, what do you call those? Drafting tools, or a window. It's a window to a new opportunity. It's a building. It's something we can enter. We can be safe and secure in, and also see what's happening, because we're creating this from a place of love. But we're also using these sacred tools to create something that's really has a strong foundation, made with love. So what's fascinating here is we start with the 5, then we go to the 3, and then we have the 4. But they're not in order, even though they're numbers that go consequentially or sequentially. Not consequentially, but sequentially. So 5, 3, 4. So there's kind of, the universe is telling us to throw our cards up in the air and to try something different, something we haven't experienced before, because this is the time for us to take this journey, this mystery journey, and find that curiosity and that joy and find that love and lay the seeds with the love and be in that place of complete openness to not knowing what's going to happen, but making choices as we kind of move along. We'll pull one more card because we got two number cards, level cards. So the fourth and final card is the 9 card, the soul portal. And I think that it speaks very much to this, to the 5. Here, as we start the journey, we're here with our guide, and then perhaps this part of the journey, this idea of finding the truth of our soul, finding the truth of our purpose or divine mission, if you will, the sense of belonging that is here from this, the seeking, the willingness to travel to find that, which may indeed be here. That's where we find the secrets. That's where we find, and when I say secrets, I mean the treasure that we seek. This is part of that. This beginning, this journey that we're risking all, that we're taking, is taking us to these secret caverns of great discovery, of recognition, of knowing, of finding that high peak, landing on that high peak, making it up there, traveling through these unknown caverns down into all kinds of places, and then reaching this high peak of victory. Where, yes, I've made it. I've reached the peak. I know who I am, or I know who I am in this moment. It all feels incredibly sacred and important. And what feels important too is not to get distracted by all the overflowing emotion that can come from being afraid. I don't know what's happening. Why are people behaving this way? I'm expressing myself and people are getting mad at me and attacking me and all kinds of things, or everyone's in disarray and disagreement. There is something healthy about being in disagreement, but we have to find that place of being at peace with someone else having a different opinion, or even perhaps saying things we don't agree with in a rude way. We have to go like, that's okay, they're being rude, and that's okay, because it doesn't matter, right? That's their opinion, that's their approach. It doesn't mean we don't have boundaries, that we don't hold them accountable, but it does mean that we're not getting sucked into their whirlpool. So we're taking our own journey. We're taking our own sacred journey here. We have our own guardian. We have our own maze to travel with all these sacred energies. We are weaving new things. We are bringing things together in our own way, each of us doing what is necessary. And then finding the curiosity, the joy, the key, that sacred key that leads us to create these new foundations, build things, bring in the discipline to be more expressed and not get torn up by what other people are doing, and just go, okay, that's their way. Is that something I agree with? Is that something I want to put my attention to, my energy? Or do I want to continue going on my path where I need to go so I can, climb that high peak that is calling to me now, to expand into this greater sense of compassion and love for myself, for other human beings, for the absolute joy, the exquisite joy of being alive and fully expressed, the journey that we're on. All right, so that's it from me this week. As I said, I'm Jen Duchene. If you saw something in the cards that I did not mention, or you had a feeling, how did this land for you? I'd love it if you'd share a comment with me about it. Because whatever you see or feel is true for you. And so I want to hear more, because these cards are still, kind of birthing their expression. So I love to hear what other people see. If you like your own set of cards, they are for sale on my website at jenduchene.com/illuminating journey cards. And like this video if you do, subscribe as well if you're interested, share if you like, and I will see you next time.